Welcome once again to another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews online. I thank you as always for taking the time to watch my videos, which I hope you will find informative when you decide which future books to purchase. And the book today is a very interesting nonfiction book. It's called Both/and A Life in Many Worlds by Huma Abedin. This is published by Scribner and it retails for $39.99. This is a very comprehensive book, over 500 pages. Now, sometimes when you read a book that's over 500 pages, you start to think, oh, it's lagging on and on and on. It's too much. Well, this does not lag on. While you read, you actually don't realize the book is so long because you're so engrossed by what this author has to say. Huma Abedin, as the inside liner notes says, she is the daughter of Indian and Pakistani intellectuals. She came to America and she basically calls it home. It's her home away from home. And she wanted to get into journalism after watching CNN's star reporter Christiane Amanpour. And she liked what Christiane was doing, so she wanted to get into a world of journalism. But she was hired as an intern in the White House in 1996 for Hillary Rodham Clinton. Now, in the book, all throughout the book, Huma refers to Hillary Rodham Clinton as HRC. And so we know who she's talking about, obviously. And she was an intern, and she enjoyed her work. Now, she does not get into political commentary. While she was there, we all recall the scandal of Bill Clinton, who was president then, with Monica Lewinsky. Now, she just mentions it in briefly as part of what she experienced at the White House. There's no judgment or nothing of that sort. Now, when Bill Clinton's 2 terms were up and he did leave the White House, Huma stayed with Hillary Rodham Clinton as her advisor. And she enjoyed her job. She got to, jet set around the world with her. She met dignitaries, and she basically was, scheduling appointments for her, and she was her right-hand person, really. And so as time progressed, she doesn't talk about really dating. Now, she eventually did meet a man, Anthony Weiner, and he was a congressman. And it was a pleasant meeting. There was nothing really to say in the beginning that she was going to, to go to this man or stay with this man or want this man. But as time progressed, they got friendlier, and there was a spark between the two of them. Now, they did know that he was non-Muslim, so she went to talk with her mother and her family, and they weren't really that sold on the idea of their daughter with a non-Muslim man, but they met him, they respected him, they thought he was a decent human being, so they basically eventually gave her a sort of blessing. And so but as time progressed, she started seeing inconsistencies. Once she saw his computer, and she saw all these messages from women, total strangers, and some sent their picture, and some were, let's say suggestive pictures. And he told Huma that there was nothing between them, that they just, he got all these, messages from women who were, like groupies or whatever you wanted to call them, and he didn't respond to them. But as time progressed, things sort of changed. There was like a spidey sense was tingling within Huma. And eventually the two did get married. And they did have a child, Jordan. But she still at times just didn't, something was up, and she just couldn't put her finger on it. Now, the two did seem to grow apart at times. Now, after the son was born, there was another scandal because Anthony actually was sexting with an underage girl. Now, that eventually did get him charged, and he did have to go to jail for 21 months as his punishment. Now, in the meantime, Children's Services came to investigate Huma because of all the times that she was away from her child. Of course, she was working for HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton, so she couldn't be there all the time. But she made sure that her child was taken care of. But Children's Services came, and they kept almost persisting that they wanted to find something wrong, that she was an unfit mother. But she was a very fit mother. She loved her child, and there's no question about that. So the book is really engrossing on so many fronts. Like I said, while you're reading it, you do not realize the book is 500 pages because it almost plays out like a mystery thriller where you want to see what happens next. Except this is not fiction. This is fact. And she had quite the life, really. She is definitely someone who you respect. Like I say, she's not judgmental in the book at all. She just talks about her experiences, the ups and downs. She is still friends with the husband. They're divorced, but for the sake of the child, they are still, sociable with one another. And so if you want a different kind of book that looks at life inside the White House from, the perspective of an intern who became an advisor, Both And is definitely a book that you should consider. So that's a book I wanted to draw to your attention this time out. Hopefully when you go to your store, you will seek it out because it is certainly worth your time and your efforts. So until we meet again, please keep in touch, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, as I said, and meet you. I will see you at the bookstore. Take care. Bye for now.